right, so I'm Jared, and I'm Senator Speaker, so we'll just go around and do this. Go ahead.
I'm Vivian, running for Executive Board.
Patrick.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I am a senator.
Hi.
My name is Josue. I'm a Fisher ambassador.
Hi, I'm Amor. I'm a Fisher ambassador and she's here for us. I'm Robbie. I'm a secretary. She her pronouns.
I'm Yasmin. I'm a senator. She her pronouns.
Candace Martinez, the unofficial director for leadership and governance. I serve as the SGA advisor. She her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Genevieve, writer for the Retriever, and I use she her pronouns.
I'm Kai, Senator Ethan.
Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm the executive vice president. I use she her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm a Fisher ambassador. I use he his pronouns.
I'm Brandon. I'm a senator and I use his pronouns.
Hi, I'm Claudia. I'm a Christian ambassador and I use you.
Hi, I'm Francis. I'm senator. I use she her pronouns.
Hey, I'm Malone Douglas, Senator, she her pronouns. I'm Claudia Lucina, public relations. She her pronouns.
I'm Kalechi. I'm a senator. I use she her pronouns.
All right, great. So here's how the process is going to work. So we're all going to go, or it's going to start out, we just ask that you give a little bit of an introduction about yourself, why you want to run for the position, maybe a little bit of your background, how you got here, whatever you want. I mean, it can reiterate some of that too.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of in the same way as this. Then we're going to go into questions. So every senator will have the opportunity to ask you a question. There's 8 senators. And then after that, we're going to go into discussion. You won't be able to talk then. It'll just be senators. And then after that, we'll vote, and you need a majority vote to be confirmed. Okay? All right, great. So with that, would you mind just giving one more question?
I'm Vivian Jaja. As it's written here, I'm Nigerian and international student. This is my 2nd year. I'm a business technology administration and biological science major, contemplating adding French as a minor. I'm a very slightly interesting person. I have a lot of hobbies and interests. Come off as introverted sometimes, but I'm extremely extroverted. I do well in public spaces and talking and seeing. I'm just very friendly and talk a lot, obviously. What else? I don't really know how to answer this question of who are you, so this is about it.
All right, that's perfect. Thank you. All right, great. So now we're going to go to the questions. So Candace, is she eligible for the role? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we're just
Okay.
checking, doing some.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's it. All right, thanks, Candace.
You're welcome.
Francis.
As Mary just informed that when you join the council, you have an initiative that you work on the vision. Do you have an initiative?
Not yet, actually. I haven't put much thought into that as of right now. But given time, yeah, I think it's come up with a lot of things.
Okay.
Is there anything you're interested to be involved, a part of as for like the maybe change or something you want to see around?
I currently don't have any specifics. I'm interested in a lot of things. Say student relationships in form of STEM majors, art majors, like intertwining, environmental changes or something, but nothing particular.
I have a clarifying question on eligibility. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is Mary enrolled in classes this semester?
Yes.
Do you hear that, Patrick?
Not right now.
Anyone else? Brandon?
Why do you want to do the work of the executive council, and why do you think it's important?
Because it gives an opportunity for students to be able to impact changes. I mean, the whole SGA does, but like as an executive council member, you get to actually come up with ideas that you get to work on that might be say impact something that personally interests you, or just something that a friend mentioned that you think you want to see a change in, which is a great opportunity, and the executive council is a good platform for that.
Have you ever done any projects previously that, or have you have any experience doing projects like this?
I do, but none here. They're all high school related.
Okay.
I was on a lot of the teams, councils, all this kind of thing, and we did a lot of events that were meant to promote the school, like a sort of marketing thing, and we'll come up with ideas that can interest parents in terms of bringing their children to the school, and because it's not that big, and we were just trying to find new ways to get people to enroll in my school. Yeah.
Anybody else? All right. Okay, so that'll conclude questioning. Is there anything else that you'd like us to know about you?
No. Anything else? No, I can't think of nothing.
All right, cool. All right, so that concludes the questioning piece. So we're going to move into discussion. Is there anyone who'd like to open this up?
I have a question, but I need to make it but I don't want to
Okay. Yes.
I'm leaning towards a yes, because I feel like everyone has the disposition to be an effective executive council member, but I'm missing any sort of substance.
Off that, can I ask Brenda or Colin why this appointment is up for executive council, what you guys were looking for in this appointment?
So to be fully transparent, Jared recommended her to us because
She ran for Senate first.
she ran for Senate and couldn't get involved. We had an interview, I thought it went well. I know that she didn't have a particular initiative, but I'm okay with that because I'm looking right now for interested, passionate people that can either support other people or start thinking about initiatives that can be transitioned into next year. And that's where I'm at.
Come up with anything?
Nope.
Brandon?
Can you share a bit of what motivated your nomination?
So when I was getting nominated for senator, right? So the whole story is I nominated her to come here for Senate, but then she scheduled a class on Monday night, so it didn't work out. And the reason I did it is, even though she didn't have many initiative ideas, right? Kind of similar to what Colin said, but I mean, my image for that was like she, or well, so she seemed very motivated. She seemed like she was dedicated and passionate about the work, right? Like she wanted to make a difference, didn't exactly know how to do that yet, right? But that, like what Colin said, that wasn't really a big of a concern for me because I thought that, I mean, part of coming into SGA with a lot of people, they come in, they don't really know what they want to do, and part of that is they don't understand the climate of SGA that much, but they want to make a change. So that's part of my role as a speaker, right, to help her find where she could make that change. So as she's going into executive council, I assume that Colin would probably help her find a place where she could make a change about the things that she's passionate about, right? So when I was evaluating her, it was more about, is she somebody who's going to be into the work, who's capable of making a change, right? I wasn't so concerned about her having an idea of that.
I am similar to Colin. I'm leaning towards yes. It was good to hear from him. it was good to hear from Colin about what his expectation of was and like what he wanted. And I see passion. I wish I heard a little more possibly about like one thing that would like, pursue or that is a passion, so an example of a passion. I think that would have solidified my list. But I do see like willingness and like confidence and all the signs that you would need to have a full vote. So.
Anyone else? Is there a motion?
Move to approve. Is that the correct number?
36.
Move to approve SL 36-1819.
Seconded. All right. Is there anyone who'd like to register an abstention? Okay. So, number of senators for? All right. Number of senators opposed? All right. And with that, the motion passes. Congratulations, Vivian. All right, so now I'm going to swear you in. So come with me. Just raise your right hand and repeat after me. Just for okay. So I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of member of Executive Council of the UMBC Student Government Association, and will to the best of my ability promote and defend the interests and well-being of UMBC's undergraduate students. All right, congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, now there's some candidates. That's circulated.
Action question.
What is it? Candace says, wherever you are mentioned by the bylaws act. That's the reason I do it. Hey guys, we gotta get started into our next one. Brandon, Michelle's here. All right, guys. So now we're gonna move into our next confirmation. So, John, guys. All right. So let's do introductions again. So, welcome Michelle. I'm Jared. I'm a senator, serve as speaker. Go to the right.
Hi, I'm Patrick. I'm a senator.
Hello, Michelle. My name is Josue. I'm a first-year ambassador.
Hi, I'm Robbie. I'm secretary.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Senator, Candace Martinez-Down, Assistant Director for Leadership and Governance, and I also serve as the SGA Advisor. She's a friend. I'm
Colin. I'm president.
Hi, Senator Stephen.
Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm Executive Vice President. I use she, her pronouns.
Hi, I'm Sean. I'm a first-year ambassador. I use he, his pronouns. Hi, my name is Brandon New. I am the assistant speaker, and I use pronouns.
I'm Sally. I'm the first-year ambassador, and I use she.
I'm Mariam Ivanova, secretary, and I use she, her pronouns.
I'm Celestial, Senator. She.
Great. So, welcome, Michelle. So, here's how the process is going to work. All right. So, first, we just ask that you give a little bit of like an introduction. just about why you want to run, just speaking. I know it's kind of in the question, so if you'd like, you can use it as a reference. Here, I'll give you a copy of what you said. So yeah, that'll be the opening. And then after that, we're going to go into the questioning portion. So that'll be every senator will have the opportunity to ask you a question if they'd like. Okay? And then after that, we're going to do a discussion in which you won't be able to speak. It'll just be senators. Okay? And then we're going to vote, and you need a majority vote to be confirmed. So that'll be 5 out of 8. Or 4 without 5 votes, just part of the job. So, yeah, so with that, would you mind opening this up?
Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Grimm. I was born and raised in Harris County, and I'm a sophomore and a senior now. I'm an American Studies major, and I'm also in the elementary education program. And of course, like when I'm not at school in my free time, I love to go to the gym, and definitely I've been interning at the elementary school at Meeting Choice, which is also a really great experience for me. So.
All right, great. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to move into the questioning portion now. Thanks for opening this up. Any senator, would anyone like to open this up? Coordinator of Public Relations. Colin, what's Coordinator of Public Relations do?
So we have 2 people. They are supposed to be coming to Senate and getting notes from you all to make sure governance committee meetings first and executive council. They're supposed to be helping draft posts that will go on my UMBC and social media. So like things that we want to be spread out into the universe, the PR coordinators are supposed to help with messaging and working on the drafts.
How, for example, like the Senate on allocation, you have to be there 1 member for a certain span of time on the during the meeting. Is there somebody similar to that?
We have comms people. They have a weekly meeting now. Michelle can't make them. Is that correct?
Yeah. I made arrangements with Tess to meet with her every time.
Yeah. That's the correct.
That will finish your question.
No. Okay.
Right. Any questions?
Wait, did I answer your question? Sorry.
Yes,
I forgot what it was.
Okay. Okay. So, why do you want this position? Yeah.
In high school, I was really involved with SGA and class council, which is similar to SGA, and I wanted to continue those in college, but my first couple semesters here, I wanted to focus on academics, but now that I've gotten the hang of everything, I wanted to become more involved, and SGA is something I was really familiar with already, so I definitely wanted to give this a try, and it's just something that I'm really interested in already. I like to be like the world communicator between like the SGA association and then the student body. So I thought this was really cool.
What did you do with that in high school?
So in SGA, I was just a member, so I was just involved in helping out with the activities that were planned. But for class council, I was secretary actually, and also like part-time public relations, just because the person who was in charge of that wasn't always there. So I had some experience with this. We planned a lot of events for high school.
Go for it.
Michelle, right? Do you have like, maybe from speaking from your experience and your background, some creative ideas of how you would want to like be kind of this liaison between like, student government and the undergraduate body?
Definitely, nowadays, since like social media is a huge thing, that's also like a really good way to be connected with everyone, keeping up with updates. And no one wants to read like a huge page or 2 about like the events and stuff. So if we can keep that to a minimum, I definitely want to be able to incorporate like fun little ways to keep everyone updated.
mentioned you interned at Radiance Choice. What do you do at Radiance Choice?
It's part of my class activity for Education for AD. I just assist the teachers. Most of it for now is observing because I just started, but eventually I'll be doing my own lessons there. I'll have a supervisor who grades me on that.
Cool.
Anybody else?
What would you do to ensure communication is occurring and is consistent?
On my part, I definitely am already connected, so I keep up with this regularly, and to stay on top of that, I'm pretty well organized for the most part, so I'm really good with keeping up to date with what needs to go out, what needs to be informed. So if I just keep that up, I don't think I should have a problem.
Anyone else? Brandon?
I have a question for Colin.
Sure.
What does like the agency of the position look like? As in, like, is Michelle going to be doing the like work you tell her to do, or does she have an opportunity to like do her own things? Yeah. Cool. So then, Michelle, what ideas do you have in making sure that public relations is proactive as opposed to responsive?
Well, that's a big part of it is like knowing your surroundings. So if you talk to people, you kind of get a feel of like what they're feeling or thinking, and you're definitely going to hear people complain about some things, or maybe they'll like something, they'll commend it. So if we keep an open ear to that, we could be one step ahead and like get meet about these, talk about these things instead of these events or activities that promote such activities.
Anyone else? All right, so this final question, Michelle, is there anything else that you'd like us to know about you or anything like that?
No, I am really excited for this, and I think I'd be really good for this. Other than that, not much.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we're going to move into discussion, and then you can open us up. Patrick, then Candace, then Colin.
Okay, cool. So, yeah, I'm really excited about this. I think that the confidence says a lot. I think that the internship she does at Radiance Choice speaks a lot as well. That's something I'm definitely passionate about. We have connections too, so that definitely means a lot to me. So,
Candace?
I'd like to know for the record that Michelle is eligible for this position.
Thank you. Sorry about that. So you're thinking too?
Yep.
can I ask why we're doing that now?
So we were always supposed to do that.
Cool.
Like from the first day, and it's just one of those things that I forgot. But the purpose of doing that is that so that it is in the meeting minutes that there was actually a check on candidates that came in.
Did it for the other three.
I think the candidate is really qualified, they have experience, they have a willingness. I don't know if the internship was, I don't know if I missed that, but if you're vouching for it, then I have confidence in it. Yeah, and she, again, passion shown, willingness, all the things you need to have a vote confidence.
I'm also really excited, Michelle, to see you join the party. I'm really hoping that the activities and events that you mentioned earlier happen and that we have an opportunity to engage the student body earlier when things are happening down the pipeline. That makes sense. Yeah.
Anybody else? Is there a motion?
Move to approve SL 37.
All right. Would anyone like to register an abstention? Okay, no abstentions. So all senators for? All right, opposed? Okay, so with that, the motion passes. Congratulations. All right, now I gotta swear you in, so come up here.
Oh my God.
That's fine.
So just repeat after me. So raise your right hand.
I wasn't talking.
I do solemnly affirm.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
What's the thing?
Guys. Oh, all right, before we start. I do solemnly affirm that I will faithfully execute the office of Coordinator of Public Relations of the UMBC Student Government Association, and will, to the best of my ability, promote and defend the interests and well-being of UMBC's undergraduate students. Congratulations.
Hey! By the way, she comes from the best high school in San Maryland.
Stop.
Wait. Which high school? Oh my
Yes.
Oh my.
Centennial or Dawes?
All right, guys. All right, that's our last confirmation. So, Colin, last thing on the agenda, Colin, budget update.
All right, Colin.
Exactly 10 minutes.
Okay.
43 seconds.
Recycling. Preferred.
40. 33 seconds.
Okay, so, hi everyone. So I'm going to say that this isn't going to take long because I'm only going to share a few changes tonight. Note that there are other changes in the works.
Noted.
Note that there are other changes in the works. But this is just where we are based on conversations that we have had the past week. So, this is the biggest thing, and I will actually just go over numbers because it might be easiest. So there's a slightly reduced office supplies to balance the budget. We are not going to pass a budget that isn't 1.13 even. I'm not doing the change because that's weird. Stress-free zone is back to the $4,000 even.
Thank God.
There's reduced elected officer and election board member stipends, and I'll go over that in a second. Increased appointed officer stipend pot, and then increase election board marketing. So I'm just going to skip to the slides that are relevant because we did this for 12 hours last week. Does that sound good to everyone?
Yes.
All right.
General consensus.
I just got to go and find them. Okay, so this is different. So last week, the multiplier for president was 15. The multiplier for top 3 was 12. The multiplier for Senate and Finance Board was 8. Speaker and chair stipend were 0.5, and assistant speaker and vice were 0.25, and secretary was 3. So these multipliers have changed, which has reduced the pot, but don't quote me on this, somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 grand to compensate for all of that. Carly and I changed these multipliers after having a conversation with a few of you, hearing what you all think, or is a more realistic expectation for what stipends should be. Yeah, so that's how I got those change of numbers from. Okay. It's still down for the discrepancy, which was the major goal. So in FY19, again, I'm making 9 times as much as the average senator. In FY20, it would be 2 times, which is, again, reducing the discrepancy. And you can see that within the bodies as well. Note that, in your all's case, the speaker and the assistant speaker would be paid the same. That's not true right now. Again, that came after having a conversation as to looking at the real workload that speaker and assistant speaker have. I'm thinking that they're relatively competitive. None of that has changed so far. Increased the election board pot, so this was $42.50 last week. It's now $52.50. I really have been struggling to find a fiscal year where even all $4,000 was used, but I recognize and understand that we should be supporting more students to run for office and get them to be aware of the elections. I just do not think that $8,000 is a responsible allocation of the student activity fee when we don't have a history of using all that money. What went down? Stress-free zone's back. Office supplies is down a little bit. What did I forget? I forgot something in this overview.
Pointed officer.
Pointed officers, yeah, that's stipend pot. I don't remember what I presented it at last week, but right this second in this proposal, I think it's at like over $22,000. Yeah, so it'd be a $52.50 increase right now. So yeah, that's where we're at. So those are the changes that have happened so far. The operating budget right now is at $1090, and we can responsibly budget up to $1113. Again, the cut to the retriever was not changed at all because we are still having conversations with the retriever, but the things that I talked about tonight are things like the stipends, definitely going to move forward on in whatever the final proposal was. Jared, how much time do I have left?
5 minutes.
Great. What are y'all's thoughts and opinions so far to date on these changes, where we're at? What?
I really like that we have kind of actually reduced the salary of the president, but kept it consistent with multipliers. I think that's a good move looking forward. And I also, actually we'll talk offline for the next part, but yeah, I like where it is right now.
Yeah. So as far as the money from all the officer stipends, right, which I think is a good change, or at least more accurate change, you know. Where did that money get re-facilitated to, or is it still in the works?
So I hate that question, and I'll tell you why.
Well, what I mean is, like, as far as the changes that you proposed.
So, no idea.
Like, I didn't see any increases to, like.
That's correct.
Okay.
Well, because remember last week's budget that I proposed was $1113, and this is $1090.
Okay, so it's just pretty much wiped out. Okay.
Maybe. So those kind of questions, they're not really productive. And the reason why they're not productive is because it's really just kind of moving all sorts of numbers around. It's difficult to say this cut equals an increase here. It doesn't work like that.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, okay. But it just, this budget is less than the other one, which I think.
Yeah. So we still have $23,000 to play with this budget as is. Any other thoughts, questions, concerns? Yes.
So
When do you think timeline-wise, because I know you're saying done by spring break.
Oh, yeah. So I think we're gonna have a final conversation with the retriever by the end of this week. I'm going to say definitively that next week we are going to move forward with proposing legislation, and the only difference will be what the amount is for the retriever. So I would say this is a good opportunity so that we are not trying to pass the budget for 12 years in a day. If there are any concerns that in the next 2.5 minutes, is that how much time I have left? If we could voice those concerns now, that would be significantly appreciated.
My biggest concern is like with the retriever, right? So can you give any insight into how those conversations are going, or are you just waiting until final proposal?
We had a conversation with them today. I told them to get back to me by Wednesday, and we have a meeting with Dr. Young tomorrow to see if she wants to weigh in and get her thoughts on this issue. So as far as conversation goes and sharing that with Senate, the best that I'll be able to do is present something next month.
Okay.
I mean, I will try my very best to like put something out on Slack like Wednesday night, and if we can have a conversation there, that'd be helpful. But that's about the best I can do. Any other thoughts, Brandon?
Yeah. I'm wondering if there are opportunities for so I'm thinking about OCSS and their cuts to their budget, and I'm wondering if there are other ways for us to support the students that they support and reflect that in our budget and our values, besides the two items they have currently.
I hear you, but we just had a fee form today that asked for a $30 fee increase to the Commons, which goes to other things in student affairs, which includes OCSS. So my whole thing is these are programs that should 100% exist. Doesn't make sense for money to come from the student activity fee and force the student activity fee to be raised when these are programs through student affairs that we have other fees to go with them. Does that make sense?
Yes, but isn't that the same for any other part of the undergraduate student experience?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm hearing is that LCSS and their constituents are getting money from other fee sources, but I'm wondering if that same couldn't be said for other undergraduate students in their capacities.
This will be the last question, unless we have a motion from Senate to continue the conversation.
I don't know if I still fully understand what you're asking. So can we talk after Senate? Because I don't know what you're asking. Sorry. I'm useless. I'm brain dead.
Okay. So, straw poll to continue to extend the conversation. All senators for? Okay. All right.
Okay, one last thing, friendly reminder, when it is presented, the Senate has the power to change individual line items, Finance Board does not.
All right.
I'm not.
Okay, well, that's our last thing, so, yeah, announcements. Okay, so, the first announcement is from me, so, I have a family event happening in 2 Mondays, okay? So, just in lieu of there being some sort of important event on March 11th, I would prefer to be able to go to that, in which case Brandon would be leading. If anybody has any problems with that, you can let me know. But yeah, not necessarily. But like I said, like again, this is happening, like, let's say we have another vote on the budget, right? Then I should probably be here, okay? But, yeah, so I'm just throwing that out there now. Thank you, that's my announcement.
Stand with them.
So, the fee forum was today, the fee or the survey is still up, so you guys should take it, you know. Tell your friends, tell your kids, your wives, your husbands.
Kind of clarifying the question. Do you have a link to it, or what can we find?
Yes, it's fees.umbc.edu.
I go right there too. When you get there. There's a weird glitch that if you're an undergrad, it still lets you comment on the graduate fee increase. So
Let's get them, guys.
To bounce off of Patrick, actually your thing, like literally 0 to 0 shape. But since my job is to like support all of you with SGCs, I think.
Do you want me to make this announcement?
It's up to you. You want to?
I'll do it.
Sure.
Okay, so I'm doing this because, like, so here's the situation, right? So we have a lot of seats in SGCs. Is this what you're getting at? Okay. Well, we have a lot. Maybe you can get this out. So we have a lot of open seats in SGCs that are just not filled. Okay. So we are going to be adding another SGC for each senator until we get more senators. Just because it's one of our responsibilities to make sure that we are at those SGCs, right? It's one of our primary responsibilities, including having more than one senator at SGCs. So.
I have a question about that. How many SGCs are there?
But
Never mind.
yeah, I don't know
Yeah,
exactly.
you all have access to the document.
Yeah, Brandon will be facilitating, making sure that you guys are in SGCs, but instead of 2, the expectation is now 3. Okay.
So there's also a really distinct difference between SGCs and we should be at. So like RAC renewal plan is something that we 100% need to be at, but it's not a shared governance committee meeting. There are a lot more of those. It's not an SGC, but we need to make sure people are going out in the universe, but we just got to make sure that we find them, document them, and share times and all sorts of stuff.
Brandon, is that what you're getting at, or do something separate? Okay, sorry. Well, sorry.
I appreciate the support. And so for me to support all of you, I think it would be really helpful if you all like added to my calendar when all of your meetings are going to be, so that in the event that one of you is unable to attend, that I can help. Also, while you're like going on Slack being like, hey, y'all, I can do this, I can help facilitate and be like a point of contact for anyone that wants to or do something like that. So if y'all could fill out my calendar, it'd be the document is, so if you go into the Senate file, the Senate folder, there's an SGC folder, and then it's like,
Okay, and that has all of them in the comments?
yes.
Okay.
Cool. Any other announcements this week?
What was that announcement? I had a question. In terms of the SGCs, are like first year masters allowed to go as representatives of the Senate in a way to like help you senators?
Yes, so SGCs, they are supposed to be, with the exception of the ACC, Academic Conduct Committee, open meetings. So FYAs can go, but you will have voice and no vote. So what do you have?
Preferably you're going with a senator.
Yes.
Good. Any other announcements? All right, one more announcements. All right.
Oh no.
Okay, yeah.
holding a panel tomorrow.
Yes, everyone go.
Please go.
I will be the moderator. Please do come.
What
Now
time?
you
It is
What time?
6:30 in the library.
I got
6:30 to
We're doing event announcements? Is that
Yes.
what we're doing?
All right.
Yes.
Sure.
Good. You're hesitant. Well, with it. It's okay. I am the assistant director for leadership and governance. This is the governance part. I do leadership programming. My peer facilitators, some of you know them, are putting on a series of leadership workshops. They're called the Leader Shops.
Whoa!
Leader Shops. And the first one is Wednesday, and it's by the lovely producer Perry, and it is called "Don't Be a Nitwit, Learn How to Manage Conflicts," and it's really good. I said come up with creative titles, and they did. If you are interested in doing a workshop on how to manage conflict with your peers, she's putting on a quality program. And it is on Wednesday at noon and 3. There is food.
You were so
There's pizza. But you need to RSVP on the My UMBC event. Noon, free hour.
Oh.
Up here.
Is it campus lunch you starting next week?
Yes, like My UMBC.
All right.
Got me a pizza.
All right. Thanks, Davis.
What was the time?
All right, great.
3 hours. 6:30.
All right, guys. I adjourn this meeting at 7:45.
Maybe I was just trying to go a little long to put it on.
You were like,
Oh, maybe.